Well, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Jashana here to talk about some friggin' books that I need to read by the end of the year. So a quick little chat on TBRs in general. And if you've been subscribed to me for a while, you already know all of this, so, you know, there'll be timestamp. You can skip ahead. But basically, I don't do TBRs, if you have not noticed. The only time I ever do a TBR is if I am doing a readathon, or I was for a while doing seasonal TBRs, but I don't know if you've noticed, I stopped doing those. When I initially joined BookTube, you know, 4.5 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, whatever, I did 1 or 2 monthly TBRs and quickly realized that is not the business for me. I'm way too much of a mood reader. And then I was doing a fair amount of readathons though, and I would always do a TBR for a readathon. I also don't know if you've noticed, I think I talked about it one time before, but I have not been doing readathons in the last year. I can't do it. And then seasonal TBR, I was doing that for a minute where it was like a 4-month period and I had like categories like classics, nonfiction, general fantasy, and I would do a random generator from these list of books and pick like 1 or 2 books from each category to put on my seasonal TBR. I'm like, okay, in 4 months, it's like 6 or 7 books. I know I'm gonna read 6 or 7 books in 4 months. I'm gonna read more than that. So I can read these 6 or 7 books. I can work them in. And yeah, so many times I would just change my mind entirely and be like, I don't care, I don't wanna read it. Or DNFing them, changing the choices, like it doesn't work for me. I have come to realize this about myself. I do not enjoy, I mean, who enjoys obligations, I guess, right? Nobody enjoys that. I have such an aversion to obligations. Like, hi, hello, I don't want children anymore. And like, I just don't like that feeling. It just like my brain like revolts against it. And like with doing a bunch of readathons, because I do love readathons. There was a minute, like a year or 2, where I was doing all the readathons because I do genuinely enjoy them. And they are a really good way to connect with other people in the community. Readathons are a great way to meet more people on BookTube. So if you're newer to BookTube, I definitely recommend, if you're trying to meet more people, get to know more people on a deeper level, join a readathon, especially team-based ones. Those are so fun. Yeah, I enjoy them, but I don't enjoy that obligation feeling. And it just becomes a little overwhelming for me if I've got, you know, this seasonal TBR, and then like for a minute I had my channel memberships set up where people were picking a book for me to read. It was only like a couple months that I did that because I quickly was like, no, I can't do this. Because yeah, seasonal TBR, and then having like somebody pick a book for me to read, and then having like a buddy read, a group buddy read with my members or whatever, and then maybe doing a couple side buddy reads with individuals, and then there's a readathon. It's too much. I just want to read what the fuck I want to read when I want to read it, and I love planning in general in my life. I mean, you've seen my reading spreadsheets. I enjoy organization and I enjoy planning, but over my time on BookTube, I'm just at a point where I just want to read what I fucking feel like reading. And that's always what I've done. Even when I'm doing seasonal TBRs, it's not like I was picking books I didn't want to read. And even when I had my channel members picking, it was like from a list of books I wanted to read. But it's like this weird little mental block where as soon as it's an obligation, I'm just like, man, I don't want it. And then I don't, and then I'm like, oh, fuck, what was the point of even doing that? So no more seasonal TBRs either. I haven't been doing readathons. I'll do buddy reads here and there with people, but I can't do too many in a row, and I certainly can't do a bunch at the same time. I don't know how y'all do it when people have like a book club pick and then a readathon and then 2 buddy reads going on. I just don't have the social energy. And I think that's a big thing playing a part into like the readathon thing and the buddy reading thing, is like it just feels like this social energy pull that I don't have. Like, I just don't, I can't, I don't wanna. So anyway, no more seasonal TBRs, but I am still doing this books to read by the end of the year. Most of these were from my reading challenge. I also actually deleted a couple of prompts off of my StoryGraph reading challenge because I was just like, I'm not going to get to these. And I want them out of my face. I want that obligation out of my life. So no. But then there are a couple of prompts that I had that I'm like, no, I still, oh man, I really want to like reread that. And most of them are rereads. So yeah, let's get into that. So one of the books I already did read. I made this list like right before I knew I was going to start reading it. And that is The Wrath and the Dawn. And then The Rose and the Dagger, I started reading. So that duology was on my reading challenge for one of the rereads I wanted to do this year. So I'll have that done. Cool, great, grand, wonderful. And then another reread is Jade City and Jade War. Jade Legacy comes out December? Maybe November? I can't remember now, and I don't feel like looking it up. But yeah, I want to reread those before reading Jade Legacy, just to have it more fresh and to kind of marathon it. So there we go with that. And I am very antsy to get to those, so cool. The Camelot Betrayal by Kirsten White, which is book 2 of the Guinevere, or what is it called? The first book was the Guinevere Deception. Is it called Camelot Rising? I don't remember. Anyways, that, I pre-ordered that. I've had it all fucking year, and I have not read it. I definitely want to read that. And then another reread is Fire and Blood, wherever it is, over here, by George R. R. Martin. I do want to reread that. I also wanted to reread The World of Ice and Fire. I don't know if that'll happen, but I at the very least want to reread Fire and Blood for sure. And then I have one historical fiction. I have a whole shelf of historical fiction up here that I haven't read so many of them. Recently, I picked one up that has just been sitting there on that shelf forever, and I fucking loved it. So I definitely want to read at least one more of those. Hopefully, I'll be able to read more than one, but I'm just going to put one on the list. And I just put one historical fiction because I don't want to pick which one, just one of them, you know? I'll shop for my shelves when the time comes and pick one. And then a nonfiction, I was also going to put just one nonfiction, but there is one that I definitely want to get to. I have the book itself and the accompanying journal that goes with it, and that is How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. So I want to read that and utilize the accompanying journal as well. And again, if I get to another nonfiction, that would be cool, but I definitely want to get to that one. So there we are, a very short list, nothing crazy. One of my prompts was to get my owned TBR down to 40. It was at 80 at the beginning of the year, and it's higher than that now. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get that down to 40 for sure, because there's no way I'm going to read like 50 books in the next few months. I've read 52 books this year. So anyway, that's not going to happen. I'll probably delete that prompt to get it out of my face also. But I am trying to read from my owned TBR. That's going to be one of my like challenges for myself next year. And I'm going to actually focus on it and not use the library and not fucking buy so many new books. We'll see how that goes. Leave a little emoji if you don't have anything to say but just want to say hello and make your presence known. Comment anything else if you've read any of these and have any thoughts you would like to share. If you think I can do it and I can read all of these by the end of the year, let me know what your vote is. Yes, I can. Or, nah, Jashana, it's probably not going to happen. You should know yourself better than this. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.